Well, the announcement came yesterday afternoon at 5:30 that masks would be dropping in many areas around the UAE. Dubai schools are set to drop the mask rule from September 28th. And to get more details on this, we're joined by a friend of the show, Dr. Neil Hopkins, who is the executive principal at Fortis Education Group. Dr. Neil, thank you very much for joining us again on Talk 100.3.
Oh, thank you very much. It's great to be with you, Kitch. I am standing in my office in anticipation of tomorrow's news without wearing my mask. I'm very excited.
Yeah, what has been the response from students and parents alike? I'm guessing everyone's been
Oh,
a sense of relief.
absolute delight. So I was speaking to a group of 11 and 12-year-old students this afternoon in their assembly and told them that we were just about to send a message out to inform parents no need for the mask tomorrow, and they erupted into cheers straight away. So really wonderful feeling of liberation in the school.
Yeah, there is something that's good to know, that you don't have to worry about your mask. But how much of this do you think is psychological, Dr. Neil, that we're now considerably closer to the end of the COVID-19 pandemic than the start?
I think there's a great deal to that, Kitch, actually. I would agree with that. But I think there's a sense in which we're returning to, I don't know whether it's that new normal that we were talking about 2 years ago, but we're returning to the old normal, perhaps, in a way. Slightly wiser, still very cautious, of course, and making sure that we're following all the other precautions that we need to generally in our lives. But I think really everybody is feeling, isn't this wonderful? We can return to that face-to-face communication. And of course, actually, for our very youngest children that perhaps have even grown up through a period in our nurseries and in the early foundation stages in schools, this is perhaps the first time that they've experienced that sort of interaction with their teacher. And for those children that are learning language, it's very important to be able to see the mouth of the person that is speaking to you, so that you can actually start to emulate some of those movements. So for them, it will be transformational.
Well, that was going to be my next question, that there's an age group there that don't know any different about what it's like to go to school and go out to these areas and these classrooms by having no masks. What do you think the reaction is going to be? How do you think it's going to be for them?
I think it'll be wonderful. I think there'll be that sense of real excitement for them, and just a sense of freedom. Of course, we've experienced, haven't we, socially in some open areas recently, that we've been able to not wear our masks. So they've got that sense of that. But actually, to be sitting in a classroom with your classmates and able to engage in that normal way that we're used to, for them, will be a totally novel experience and wonderful.
And it also makes some students are unable to reuse the excuse of, sorry, miss, I couldn't understand what you were saying because of your mask, when they weren't really paying attention.
Well, look, for every silver lining, there's a cloud. I mean, that's the way it is.
Was this expected for schools? Did you forecast this coming?
We had hoped that it might come in August, but there was a slight delay, and I think that's probably sensible, as government was waiting to see where levels were as people returned from summer holidays. So we were very hopeful that there would be an announcement before the end of September, and here we are. So we're delighted.
Yeah, no, the reaction has certainly been widespread, that there have been many teachers that are saying they've been waiting for this day, and they're saying that it will certainly have, and certainly really will have a positive impact. But more so, I mean, you highlighted how hard it is to learn languages when you were trying to learn vowel sounds and certain movements that are different from what is your first language. But how much do you think this is going to help the interaction between teachers, that you can read people's body language a lot better?
Oh, it will be significant. I mean, we've all experienced the challenge of that, haven't we? Of reading a lot into people's eyebrow movements and trying to understand where they are and what they're trying to say, as well as the muffling effect, of course, of the mask itself. But this will certainly change everything back to positive levels for us. We know that 90% of communication tends to be around body language, but a lot of that is facial. And so to be able to see the entirety of somebody's face as they're communicating will bring all that clarity back that perhaps has been masked over the last few months.
Dr. Neil, you can probably tell I was a bit of a naughty boy at school, so I was sitting here thinking, With the masks on, would that enable you to talk more in class without getting noticed, or talk less in class without getting noticed?
Well, I think in reality you have to probably speak slightly louder. So
Yes.
it's probably led to trouble. So you'd have been amongst friends. I think it's okay, Kitch.
I know. Well, that's why I ended up in radio, you see, because I used to talk too much every single day, which was where the lesson came from every single teacher. But I do think this is, as you said, this is a great thing for students, for teachers, and obviously for parents alike. Also, just on a general level, how are things looking forward, the new educational year at Fortes Education Group?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Here at Sunmarke School, Regent International School, we've had a really brilliant start to the year. Some fantastic new students in the schools, great stuff, of course. So, yes, a really brilliant start. And this announcement really caps it off.
Wonderful. Well, we know how busy you are with this time of year, so we do appreciate your time this afternoon on Talk 100.3.
Great to talk to you. Take care.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. There is Dr. Neil Hopkins, the Executive Principal at the Fortes Education Group with the Sunmarke Regional Education Schools. And how good is that no longer from tomorrow, face masks mandatory for private schools, early childhood centres, universities and training institutes in Dubai. Smiles, as the KHDA tweeted, smiles do remain compulsory. But you then do have to remember there are a couple of years of kids that have never known anything different than having to go to school and try to learn with a teacher who has a mask on. So thankfully, that will all change from tomorrow. If you've got a thought on this or you want to share your experiences, do let us know. 0586 861003.